Good morning. Our chime is absent this morning, so you're going to have to be satisfied with my voice. My name is Bob Boyd, and I'm here in support of Eden Johnson this morning. And I have to bring you sad news, of which some of you may already be aware, but last Thursday, we lost the Reverend Richard Haynes, a longtime member of this congregation whose contributions to the community were many and varied. He married my younger daughter, for example, and it is a grievous blow. We hope that you will join us in sending Cindy and his children your deepest condolences. No funeral arrangements have been made yet. I assume that they will be posted on the Facebook website as that occurs. So with that sorrowness in mind, Eliot Chapel is a liberal religious community which aspires to the ideal of beloved community. Our guest speaker this morning is Eden Johnson, who is a ministerial fellow at the Metro East UU congregation in Glen Carbon and will be next year, quarter-time, ministerial intern at Eliot Chapel. And we are very, very pleased to have him with us. What excites Eden most about ministry is creative storytelling, collective healing through ritual and embodied practices. He holds a BA in Religious Studies and a master's degree in Divinity from Boston University School of Theology. We welcome him this morning. Suzanne LaLauren is here for pastoral care if something's weighing on your heart. If you or a little one become restless, there's a live feed in Fellowship Hall, we hope. No, there's not a live feed in Fellowship Hall. But anyway, they can go in there and run around all they want to. There will be snacks after the service, and you're welcome to take your younger children to the playground. To our guests, thank you for being here. We draw strength from your presence among us, and we offer the strength of community to you. Ann Lemon is here to answer your questions. She's in the back there. Is a very nice lady. She will answer your questions about our congregation or Unitarian Universalism after the service. There are guest forms at both entrances to the sanctuary, and there's a QR code on the screen and in your order of service. Use that, please, if you desire to stay in touch with us. Please join us for coffee hour after the service. It's forward and out the doors to your right. Follow the merry crowd. If you're new or new-ish, please take a blue cup and we'll make a special effort to include you in the conversation. If you are old or oldish, please look for blue cups and make a special effort to include those folks in the conversation. Our online coffee hour today is at 1:30. Now I invite you as you wish to join in our welcome today by responding with "You are welcome here" at the end of each statement. If you are black or brown, indigenous, APIA, whatever your origins, you are welcome here. If you are an immigrant, a refugee, a person without documentation, you are welcome here. If you believe in God all the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. If you have a disability, visible or invisible, or are neurodiverse, you are welcome here. If you've been here 100 times or just came today for the first time, bless your heart. Here. If you want for nothing or struggle each day to make it through, you are welcome here. No matter whom you love or what your gender identity, you are welcome here. For this is a community of diversity, of love, and of justice. And it is good to be together. Let us enter into the spirit of worship after we watch a video.
I'm Reverend Krista Taves, lead minister of Eliot Unitarian Universalist Chapel, and I want to talk to you a bit about the upcoming election in August here in Missouri. Democracy is more than a political system. It is a sacred practice of how we live together, rooted in covenant, collective accountability, and the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Our vision as Unitarian Universalists is to create a democracy where everyone belongs, everyone has a voice, and everyone has the opportunity to shape our collective future. Here at Eliot Chapel, we have been active for every election. As a religious community, we can't support candidates, but we do advocate for issues that are grounded in our core values. The August 4th election is coming, and early voting is just about to start. There are 2 ballot initiatives that we want to draw your attention to, Amendment 4 and Amendment 5.
I'm Faith Williams from the UU The Vote team. In simple terms, Amendment 4 would make it harder for voters to pass citizen-led initiatives. For 118 years in Missouri, citizen-initiated amendments have passed by earning a statewide majority of votes. Amendment 4 would require such measures to receive majority support in each of 8 congressional districts. Thus, majority approval in 7 districts could be vetoed by a small majority in just 1 district. Amendments proposed by the legislature would still pass with only simple majority votes statewide. Our state government put this on the ballot because Missouri voters have used citizen initiatives to raise the minimum wage, expand Medicaid, and legalize abortion. If Amendment 4 passes in August, it applies to all elections going forward, including the general election in November 2026. This amendment is about weakening the power of our votes, so our initiatives are more likely to fail. Please vote no on Amendment 4.
Hi friends, my name's Claire Winnikin and I'm a member of Eliot Chapel's LGBTQIA Justice Team. Amendment 5 would eliminate the income tax in Missouri and give our government the right to install or increase sales taxes unilaterally. Now this has been tried in other states and it's failed, and sales taxes are regressive. They harm the poorest families in our community far more than middle and upper income families. And Missouri has already slashed spending on education, healthcare, infrastructure, criminal justice, you name it. So should this pass, it's going to harm the most vulnerable in our state the most. So I hope you'll join me in voting no on Amendment 5. Thank you.
Our core values include generosity, justice, and equity, and these amendments are anything but. This is what we're going to do to help defeat these amendments. 1, we're having a postcard signing party here at Eliot after the July 12th service to educate voters about these amendments. 2, talk to your family, neighbors, co-workers, and friends, and post on your social media about why these amendments are so harmful. 3, put up lawn signs to vote no on Amendment 4 and 5. They do actually make a difference, and putting them up sooner rather than later is important because early voting is starting soon. And most importantly, make a plan to vote. Your vote is your voice. As Unitarian Universalists, democracy is sacred for us, and voting is an act of moral conscience. Let us use our vote to center love and justice for everyone. Blessings on you all.
For our chalice lighting, O light of life, be kindled again in our hearts as we meet together this morning to celebrate the joy of human community, seeking a wholeness that extends beyond ourselves. By Sam Trembore. Please rise in body or spirit for an opening hymn 1023, and remain standing for our congregational covenant.
Wait a minute, wrong book. Sorry. 20 more. It's for the beauty of the earth. And there's a word change in the fourth verse. Oops, sorry. In the fourth verse, it's a wonderful change, but you'll see me looking up because I won't know it yet.
Unitarian Universalism, our covenants are the agreements we make among ourselves for how love becomes real. Let us join in speaking our congregational covenant. As a free congregation, we promise to one another our mutual trust and support. To create beloved community, we promise to be kinder to each other than we have to be, to listen fully to each other with an open mind and heart, and respectfully find. Please be seated. Every week, we share our offertory with the community organization that reflects our values and commitment to service. This month, we're sharing our offering with the St. Louis Area Diaper Bank. Please be a generous people. Please join me in dedicating these offerings to the work of the church, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action. We dedicate our lives and these our offerings.
Now is our time for all ages, and I was wondering if some folks would like to join me up front who are young in age or young at heart. You also don't have to. We can come, we got friends. Hello, friend. We got some more friends. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Awesome. Yay. So, today we're going to put our thinking caps on and our imaginary minds in check. You got it? You ready? You thinking? So, I'm imagining a world where animals have to go to school. Isn't that kind of silly? But I'm thinking about how at this animals' school, it is a place where all of these animals have to come, who are all different, and study the same things. So, once upon a time, the animals decided they must do something to solve the problems of the new world. They wanted to think about what it meant to be in school together. They adopted an activity curriculum consisting of running, climbing, swimming, and flying. To make it easier to administer the curriculum, all the animals took all the subjects. Could you imagine that the duck was pretty good at swimming? In fact, better than his instructor. But he only made passing grades in flying and was very poor at running. Have you ever seen a duck run? Can anyone think about that? Since he was slow at running, he had to stay after school and also drop swimming in order to practice. This was kept up until his webbed feet were badly worn, and he was only average in swimming. But average was acceptable in the school, so nobody worried about that, except the duck. The rabbit started at the top of his class and running, but had a nervous breakdown because there was so much makeup work in swimming. The squirrel was excellent in climbing until he developed a frustration in flying class where his teacher made him start from the ground up instead of the treetop down. He also got a cramp from overexertion and got a C in climbing and a D in running. This was hard. The eagle was labeled a problem child and was disciplined severely. But in reality, he was just extremely misunderstood. In the climbing class, he beat all the others to the top of the tree, but insisted on using his own way to get up there. At the end of the year, an abnormal eel that could swim extremely well, also run and climb and fly a little, had the highest average and was valedictorian. The prairie dogs decided to stay out of school and fought for justice because the administration would not add digging and burrowing to the curriculum. They apprenticed their children to a badger and later joined the groundhogs and gophers to start a successful private school. But I was wondering, when you think about all of these animals, what would you be best at? Could you think of what maybe a friend might be best at and how they might be different? What would you like to do at this school? Would you like to swim or run or climb? It's important to think about what you're good at. So thank you for joining me in this time up front. Now we can sing out our kids. I invite you to enter into this time of prayer and meditation with a spirit of gentleness. To that which grounds all of us. May we know that exactly in this moment we are who we need to be. May the giving of ourselves, of our lives, to the works of justice, to the work of care and community, center us to be the love at which we seek in the world, to make it come alive more fully. Let us now enter into a time of silence for the prayers and meditations of our heart. Let us speak the names of those we hold in care. Let us enter into a moment of silence in honor of beloved member, Reverend Richard Hayes, who passed away last Thursday. Amen, and blessed be. Please remain seated for a meditative hymn.
Dave's going to play this once through because it's relatively new to us.
This morning's reading is from a book called Sustaining Spirit by Naomi Ortiz. And this chapter is entitled Slow Growth. On either side of the road, Sonoran Desert spreads outward. As my truck makes its way over the washboard-textured road, I'm struck by the towering halo of fruit encircling each saguaro top. Some fruit already splitting open, red to the sky. These elders of the desert live hundreds of years on 12 inches of rain a year or less. Every year before the rainy season, before any promise of nourishment has arrived, when the skies have been cloudless for months, they swell, offering up buds crowning their arms and heads. How much elders have to teach, I think, as I drift across the rocky sand. Watching saguaros live with minimal nourishment, not just live, but produce fruit in the driest of seasons, I'm humbled by the wisdom of the saguaro elders who lead so beautifully by example. What would it be like to focus on the minimums, those super small acts that have no immediate payoffs but make a great difference in the long term? Minimums are hard to commit to, precisely because there is no immediate reward, no big change to revel in. This brings to mind my journey with physical exercise. When it comes to exercise, I've spent years exercising in an extreme sense, only to injure myself over and over again. Finally, I decided to adapt my goal. Instead of exercising to get in shape or lose weight, I decided to find something that I could sustain. That was my goal, to find something that I could do again and again. That was it. It was frustrating as I bypassed ideas of exercise videos and yoga classes. I'd always received the advice that swimming would be good for me, but in the past I would often choose a class that had a name like Aqua Cardio Blast, which would inevitably send my ankles into a fair. This time I decided to try the slowest class I could find. I ended up in an aqua class which met 2 days a week. To participate with my disability, I had to be mostly floating, much to the confusion of the teacher, but I was able to keep showing up. Eventually, my class peers, who all had about 30 or 40 years on me, also learned that I had to do things differently, but I was there, class after class. After about 6 months, I started to integrate about 15 minutes of exercises and stretching each morning, another minimum. The hard and humbling thing is that these minimums aren't something that can be built on. I'm not able to start at the bottom and work my way up. With my body, this is it. I can sustain the minimum, and that's okay. Minimums which allow me to go slow and do something nourishing for my body consistently also allow me to show up for myself long term. I'm learning that approaching things like exercise this way lets me make sustainable micro changes throughout my life. As more and more time passes, I'm seeing how faith in just doing the minimum is paying off, with the reward of being able to sustain doing exercise consistently. I am disabled and have some pretty clear body boundaries, but the lesson of integrating minimums can be helpful for us all. It's a shift in focus from valuing the big changes we could make to accepting the small ways we can actually sustain our lives. Here ends the reading.
I like to think of myself as someone who likes to practice what they preach. So for my field work this week, I took Naomi's lead and went to the pool. So relax your mind and let your thoughts wander as you are floating on a lazy summer's day. I had no agenda but to go and be a human with other humans at the pool. I wasn't going to exercise, and I can't remember the last time I had gone to the pool by myself. But growing up, I spent many summer days in Georgia at my neighborhood swimming pool, and my inner child was happy at the idea of floating in a lazy river. This goal was my minimum because as a trans person, I got used to hiding. Baggy clothes, the desire not to be seen, that I am still having to train myself how to just be a human like everyone else and to take up space like anyone else. So I went in, neck deep, allowing myself to experience the pressure of being under the water while having the sun on my skin. Can you feel that? Can you remember what it feels like to be out in a pool like that? Maybe noticing the ways that our fingers start to prune, the smell of chlorine and maybe sunscreen. Maybe you're also noticing with me how easily kids are able to play and take up space in the waters. I even watched one girl try to drag a metal chair into the pool, and I was like, she's got the right idea. Why stand when you could sit? Genius. So the first time I went, I got in, I took a few turns around the lazy river, promptly got out and dried off. But with Naomi's wisdom by my side, I remembered that for them, they floated most of the aqua class. And I imagine it took time for them to learn what it was like for them to be in an aqua class and what it meant to be with their body and to listen. What movement felt good? What movement felt not so serving of their body? So the second time I went, it was between rainstorms, so there was less people there. And instead of just going shoulders deep, I allowed my full body to float. I looked up at the sky, partly filled with clouds, and I could see the sun rays peeking through, lighting up the blue sky. I started to play. I went fully underwater, doing the breaststroke and hearing the clear silence of the water against my ears. You know that feeling. How often do you let yourself play like this? How often are you focusing on your being in this way? Gentle. Why I think it's important to center voices like Naomi's as a disabled mestiza or an indigenous Latinx white person, because they understand systems from a point of view of someone who the system is not made for. And they grasped out into their world to see the saguaro plant, cactus, blooming before the rain, to find oneself reflected in the earth as a teacher, as an ancestor, to be understood and to stand under is something I want to think about together. To understand is to literally stand under and to perceive the patterns that for others is simply the water they are swimming in. For folks who stand under and then tell the rest of us about it is a gift, and it makes their experience an authoritative tool for the rest of us to learn from. Because even if the system were made for you, it was also made so you wouldn't look at who is standing under, propping it up. And as folks focused on social justice, we know this. We live this. We come directly from a long line of folks saying, is everyone on board with this? This is not working. I think we should think about this in a new way. And being able to give others permission to also do that. Someone who gave me this permission was my spiritual coach. At the beginning of last year, I felt overwhelmed with everything that was going on in our news system, and she said and gave me the permission as a minister herself, allow your world to get small. It's okay. It's okay not to take it all in. It's okay for your trans body to feel protected. The rest will show up. The rest will pay attention. And so I wonder, in this time, we're now a year and a half after that, and so we are in a time that's crazy making. It can be hard to figure out how to find your ground, what to really pay attention to, or find your people. But it matters that even if it's small, that it's still moving and working together. And as we care about living out our values, or said in another way, we're open to the possibility of love transforming itself as the very fabric of our lives to bring forth a more loving and just world. If we want this endeavor to be sustainable, then we need to pay attention to those who have had to do it and to continue under constraints, like the saguaro flower blooming. And I wonder what stops us from being transformed in this love. What are the sneaky speed bumps that say, do more? Maybe it's a belief that these minimums are for other people, and I don't have a disability or a neurodivergence. I'm just fine. I'm happy to do it. And that can work for a while. But also there's the subtlety to this. Maybe there's a fear that if you stop contributing the way you always have been, or set limits or minimums on your energy, then things will change. Folks might get mad at you, or it might mean that you have to ask for help. Maybe be a bother. What if I wonder if there's a belief of saying, what if I set a minimum and I no longer push myself to achieve my full potential? And I wonder, what if you didn't have to work so hard? What if you could work 10% less? What about the belief that if I put myself first, then I might be alone and nobody's going to love me? What might you say to that? Who might you find when you set your limits? Maybe you're thinking, okay, this is for other people, but I can still do it. I wonder if there's a thought that says, will I be enough? What if I'm too much? What if I make it awkward? What if I'm not important anymore? Do I think my body is a trustworthy source of information? Am I worthy? Being able to gauge this capacity in this time is actually a form of movement, because it allows our bodies to sustain itself and to give from a place of overflow, not from the place that needs to survive. In a class I took in seminary called Identity, Preaching, and Leadership in Post-Colonial Contexts, my professors, sometimes it's not always possible to practice what you preach, so I'm not, I love them, kept saying that we would have a class break, but continue to teach. I watched with awe when my Black colleague got up, across the class and left. When we finally did have a break, I got up. I asked her how she was doing, and she said, "I'm taking care of my body and won't make it uncomfortable for anything, especially a system that wasn't created with me in mind." This is standing under. This is authority. This is the wisdom that we are not free until we all are. Because guess what? My body would have also appreciated walking out with her. But to not upset the peace in my white body, I was taught to stay, to be respectful. And I know this might seem trivial, so she couldn't hold her pee. Big whoop. But I wonder what things we are propping up that don't honor the people who stand under or the people who stand within. What I'm trying to sow here is this. There's a relationship of one body here. What is better for a colleague is also better for me because it provides an integrity in the communal expression in answering the question, what does it mean to be human? This is a crash course in witnessing how white supremacy culture and ableism go hand in hand. The ability to see the system for who it is created for and to what level it is able to respond to its own inequality is a test of what systems will survive and what institutions will not continue to do the work of being a beloved community. To review, in the spirit of practicing what I preach, if you were to go back through this reflection centers the folks whose nervous system or neurodivergence prefers a co-regulatory modality of information. To trace back with you, we can see that we worked on getting present through the body, through guided imagery, was able to have a regulated enough nervous system to challenge what we are thinking and believing. And finally, able to know we are not alone in doing this work. This is actually the basis of tools that will help you tune into yourself to be able to be the love at which you seek in the world, because now you can flow, you can float. Allowing what is not true to roll off your back and to remain with the roots of the plant you seek to protect. Integration is bringing the shaking body to shake off what doesn't serve and to bring a story of the psyche to allow one's selfhood to stay intact after a storm. Finally, I have ADHD, which means, contrary to the definition, attention deficit disorder, actually, it means that I only give my attention to the things that I find important. And in the invitation at the beginning to simply let your mind wander while I talked, I was giving folks with brains like mine the express permission to only focus on what you desired to. So maybe you only heard the pool story and what I'm saying right now. Because at the time, there was somewhere else my words and your focus went. Rarely do I give a reflection and have someone tell me something I actually remember saying. Because the truth is, we all take what we like and leave the rest. We are all co-creating this moment together. So we might feast on what ours is defined the nourishment of. This is the beauty of sharing and beloved community. We all get to be exactly who we are. Nothing else is required. So go with this knowledge and be your own minimum, because no one else can do for you what you can do for yourself. May it be true.
For our closing hymn, and remain standing for our chalice extinguishing.
our chalice and share our benediction. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now, may the Spirit of life hold you, may love bless you, and may joy find a place in your days. Love to you all. Go in peace.